Hey Internet, welcome to the Kinetoscope, which is this video channel I'm trying to start where I talk about movies and just maybe share my thoughts on them. If you don't know me, my name is Ben. I also host a film podcast called Deep Cut with my friends Wilson and Eli, where we just talk about movies. And I also have this newsletter which I'm trying to pick up on again, also called the Kinetoscope, and you can find out about those in the links in the description. So to start, this is the first video on the channel. I wanted to just start with a movie I love, Showing Up by Kelly Reichardt, which I just saw again in the theaters, the first time I watched it on television. It's like the perfect movie to start a new project on. It's a film about showing up, about doing art, about just putting in the work, and this is just me putting in the work and talk about movies that I like. So Kelly Reichardt's just one of my all-time favorite filmmakers. She's like the quiet American master, still putting out work and really quite underrated. And we actually have a series on her on our podcast. You can go check that out as well. So this isn't really like a review. It's just me talking about one thing that I really want to talk about from this film, which is Michelle Williams' performance in Showing Up. Showing Up is about Lizzy, played by Michelle Williams, who is a artist slash admin assistant at an arts college. And she is in a kind of friendly conflict with her landlord slash friend slash fellow artist, played by Hong Chao Jo. And that's all it is. It's a very simple movie. What I think is incredible about Michelle Williams' performance is that she's essentially just playing a regular person with very specific traits. Lizzy, this character, is such a grumpy person who kind of carries herself in a very tense way. What I like about this performance, and I think it is one of Williams' best performances, and she has a career full of incredible ones, many of them with Kelly Reichardt. What is so great about it is that she's able to just embody this character of Lizzy and be that person throughout the entire film, doing very little. Because I think one of the most difficult things for an actor to do is to just be a person. And you can compare this with maybe Hong Chao's performance, which is also fantastic, but Hong Chao's performance of Jo is very rooted in physicality. Jo is always doing stuff, she's carrying stuff, she's like lifting things, making art. It's a very physical performance. And so for her, her performance has that ability to be hinged onto something that is physical. So being a character doing something is easier than being a character doing nothing. So if you imagine yourself trying to pretend to be another person as you're just seeing and observing things, that self-consciousness immediately betrays this actor performance. So I think that's one of the most difficult things any actor can do. But Williams does it near effortlessly, and she spends a lot of the film doing very little, sitting there and observing other people. And she does it with her physicality. She carries herself in this tense way. She walks in a very specific way. There's something heavy about Williams, and the makeup and wardrobe is also doing a lot to create this character. But she's able to kind of carry herself in this way just so specifically. Like the way that she eats a single chip, it's just incredible to watch because she's still in character in that scene, eating that chip. And then the moment somebody comes back, she gets back to work to kind of look productive. And it's not like a big performance, but you see these little details in the performance, in the way that she relates to other people. And she relates to other people really differently. Like the way that she relates to Jo is friendly, but then she is maybe allows herself to be a bit more combative with Jo sometimes. The way she is with her mother, you see that power dynamic, like her kind of dissatisfaction working for her mother in this arts college. You feel that she's almost like a petulant child talking to her mother. So there's something really specific about not just the character, but also the character's relationships and the way that she acts with different people. And these are like extremely subtle nuances that I was really in awe of when I was watching the film. Like the vocal register that she has, like she's lowered it, the monotonous voice, like all that is really building this character of Lizzy. And it was the first time like in a movie theater where just watching and noticing the sheer quality and artistry of Williams's craft as an actor was like just extremely moving. Like I felt close to tears just watching just how incredibly she was able to sustain this performance across the entire film. And honestly, it's maybe her best performance today, and it's not what you would think. It's not an Oscar bait performance for sure, and I think that's a shame because no one thinks about performance in this way. But being regular people really is one of the most difficult things to do for an actor. And even though it's like this character type that I'm kind of describing, there's also like the little arcs that she goes on that are also extremely small. For example, even though she's grumpy all the time and she kind of uses it as a defense mechanism, you see when she when when Williams playing Lizzy betrays that armor that she has put on in certain moments. Like for example, near the end of the film, when she's putting on an art show, her father comes and like looks at the sculptures, and she is probably the happiest in the whole film in this moment because you see this little tiny smile creep onto her face, and you can feel how proud she feels of the work because it's like suddenly someone is noticing the work that she has done quietly in her own apartment this whole time. And you see that, and you see how she's so uncomfortable talking to the gallery director that the other teacher brings to the gallery. And what I really love is how even though at this point of the film she and Joe are in conflict, she's actually the most relaxed with Joe because even though she's in this tense environment of her art show opening, when she talks to Joe, you see her relax and like soften, like in her demeanor, like she's no longer tense, not worried about cheese and everything, and she finds a kind of kinship with Joe. And when they walk off to get cigarettes, there's this feeling like I could notice this realization come across Lizzy that she is really, really good friends with Joe and that she appreciates Joe's presence, even though Joe annoys the shit out of her. So you see these things in the performance, and I just find it so incredible. And really, Williams is just doing like A plus work. And I really want other people to notice that. And since I'm talking about performance, I think Magaro playing Lizzy's brother Sean is so fantastic. He also kind of broke my heart. And there's this sub theme about talent versus hard work. And you see how being labeled as a genius, as an art genius, really hurts Sean, Magaro's character, and like really puts him off the rails. And that kind of coddling from the mother has not been helpful for him. And that really kind of resonated with me too. Yeah, so really a fantastic film. I implore people to go check it out, go find it in a theater. And I think it's a small movie, but I think small movies really deserve to be seen on really big screens because they magnify like how crucial small things are in our lives. Our lives are really normal, and I think it elevates the experience of normal living when you watch something like this on the big screen. So that's all I have to say about showing up. And I guess I'll have to say the words like and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm trying to see where this is going to take me and do more videos and stuff. But until the next time I do this, I'll catch you on the next one.